Hi guys, welcome back. In the last session, we created first Jenkins pipeline to automate build and deployment process of our application. As part of that pipeline, we have used several DevOps tools. First one is GitHub, second one Maven, third one Tomcat, fourth one Jenkins. GitHub is used to store project source code. Maven is build tool to compile, test, and package our Java application. And we have used Tomcat. Tomcat is a web server which is used to run Java web applications. And we used Jenkins. Jenkins is CI/CD server. Whatever the build and deployment work that we need to do, instead of we are doing manually, we will do that by using Jenkins. In the Jenkins, I have created a pipeline. In that pipeline, 3 stages available. Stage 1, it will take the code from the GitHub. Stage 2, it will talk to Maven to build that. And stage 3, it will talk to Tomcat to deploy. And one important thing that we need to remember, Jenkins is running in one machine, Tomcat is running in another machine. So as part of third stage, as part of the first stage, it will download the code from the GitHub. As part of the second stage, it will build that code by using Maven. WAR file will be created. WAR file will be created in the Jenkins machine. That WAR file we need to copy to Tomcat server. As Tomcat is running in the other machine, to copy the WAR file from Jenkins to Tomcat, we are going to use SSH agent plugin. By using this SSH agent plugin, we are copying the WAR file from Jenkins machine to Tomcat server. Then our deployment got completed. So today we are going to create another Jenkins pipeline, which is very, very important. In this pipeline, we are going to integrate Docker and Kubernetes. Right, Jenkins pipeline. Jenkins pipeline. In this Jenkins pipeline, what are the tools that we are going to use? First one, GitHub. The code is available in GitHub repository. And second one is Maven to perform the build process. And the third one is Docker. So Docker, which is used to containerize our application. And the fourth one, Kubernetes. It is used to orchestrate our containers. All right. So now I want to create a Jenkins pipeline by using all these tools. So with this, we will understand how to integrate Jenkins with Docker and Kubernetes. So see here, what are the tools that I'm going to use in my pipeline. GitHub will be available to get the source code from the repository. Maven will be available to build and package our application. Docker to create the Docker image. Then Kubernetes to deploy our application in the cluster. And Jenkins to automate all this process. So diagrammatically, if I represent these things, so here my GitHub repository will be available. And here my Jenkins server will be available. My Jenkins server will be available. My Jenkins server will communicate with the Docker to create the image. And it will communicate with the Docker Hub to push the image. And it will communicate with the Kubernetes cluster to deploy our application. And it will communicate with the Maven to perform build process. So these are the tools that I'm going to integrate in my pipeline now. So first one is GitHub. Then next one, Jenkins here. And Maven will be available here. Then after, Docker will be available. To create the image. Once Docker image got created, I will push that to Docker Hub. My image, I will push to Docker Hub from the Jenkins pipeline directly. And I will deploy my application in EKS cluster, Kubernetes cluster. Now observe. First, in the Jenkins, we are going to create multi-stage pipeline. Jenkins pipeline. multiple stages will be available in this pipeline. So what is the first stage in the pipeline? When I run my Jenkins job, first it has to take the code from GitHub repository. When I run that pipeline, it has to take the code from the GitHub repository. So this is stage 1, right? After taking the code from the GitHub repository, it should communicate with the Maven to perform build process, compile the code, and package the code as a jar file or war file. After package got completed, war file will be created. Then using that war file, I need to create Docker image. For that, I will communicate with the Docker software. Once the Docker image got created, I want to push that Docker image to Docker Hub. So Docker Hub is a registry where we can store our Docker images. Once the Docker image is available in the Docker Hub, we can pull that Docker image and we can run that Docker image. Instead of we are running the Docker images to create the containers, I will give that task to my Kubernetes cluster. I will tell to Kubernetes to deploy my application. So with this, our pipeline will be executed. Okay. So taking the code from the GitHub, let me call it as stage 1. Let me call it as stage 1, taking the code from the GitHub repository. Right. After this, doing the Maven build, I will call it as stage 2. Do the Maven build and create the Docker image. Let me call it as stage 3. Push the Docker Hub, push the image to Docker Hub. That is stage 4. That is stage 4. And deploy that application in the Kubernetes cluster. That is called stage 5. So like this, I'm going to create a multi-stage pipeline which contains multiple stages. Every stage is responsible to perform some operation. Jenkins pipeline with GitHub, Maven, Docker, Kubernetes, and Jenkins. Guys, are you able to understand the flow? What we are trying to achieve today? Guys, are you able to understand the flow? What we are trying to achieve today?
Yes, Ashok.
Yes, Ashok.
Yes. Right. So I need to create one Jenkins pipeline. So in this pipeline, we want to automate build and deployment process. GitHub, Maven, Docker, Docker Hub, Kubernetes cluster, and Jenkins. All right, good. Now, in order to do this process, guys, I prepared one document. So that is the document available in the GitHub repository. Project setup using below tools: Maven, GitHub, Jenkins, Docker, Kubernetes. So as part of this process, guys, first we need to set up the Jenkins. So already our Jenkins server is running. So first step we can ignore. So you no need to set up the Jenkins once again because already our Jenkins server is up and running. Already our Jenkins server is up and running. Do I need to do anything here? Do I need to do anything in the first step, guys? First step, do we need to set up again? Already our Jenkins server is up and running. I need response. Yep, already our Jenkins server is running. So now let me connect it to my Jenkins server by using Mobile Extra. Our Jenkins machine is already ready. Okay, we already configured our Jenkins machine. Go to this machine, connect it to this machine from Mobile Extra. SSH settings, use the private key. Key file is available. Click on OK. I'm able to connect with my Jenkins. Step 1 is completed. Then coming to step 2, install Maven and Git in the Jenkins. So in the Jenkins, Maven is not available. Let me install Maven in the Jenkins. I'm installing Maven and Git client software. Git client is used to download that code and Maven is used to build a project. Right. So with this, I completed 2 steps. Jenkins setup is done and installed Maven and Git in the Jenkins. Then third step, set up Docker in the Jenkins because my Jenkins should communicate with the Docker to build the Docker image. So to build the Docker image, we should have Docker software in our machine. Now I am installing Docker. In the Jenkins, I'm installing Docker. So once the Docker is installed, let us add this Jenkins user to the Docker group so that we can execute the Docker commands without sudo permission. I have given here step by step. Install the Docker using this command, add the Jenkins user to Docker group, then restart the Jenkins, then verify Docker version. Yeah, Docker is getting installed. Yes, Docker got installed. Then add this user, Jenkins user, to the Docker group. After this, restart our Jenkins server. Restart the Jenkins. Once Jenkins is restarted, we can verify the Docker version. Docker is really installed in this machine or not. Docker version. Yes, we are able to get the Docker engine data. So that means Docker installation completed successfully in our machine. The next one is create EKS management host in the AWS. Already we have EKS client VM. EKS client VM, nothing but the machine which is communicating with the Kubernetes cluster. So EKS client VM is also available for us. We have already done all these steps. Installed kubectl, we installed AWS CLI, we installed EKS CTL. Okay, guys. So fourth step and fifth step already we have completed. And sixth step also we have completed. So fourth step, creating EKS management host in the AWS. Fifth step, creating IAM role and attach to the EKS management host and all. So already our EKS client VM is available. Let me connect to that VM. Session, SSH, remote host, username, Ubuntu. Okay. Advanced settings, go to private key, select this PEM file, click on OK. Yes, EKS management host, I connected to this machine. So in this machine, we need to install kubectl. We have already done that. CLI and EKS CTL. We have already done that. Create IAM role attached to EKS management host and Jenkins server. We have already attached IAM role to this. You can check it under security, modify IAM role. EKS role already we have attached to our machine. The same role we need to attach to our Jenkins machine also, guys. Remember that. So collect to Jenkins, action, security, modify IAM role. So that IAM role, whatever we have created, we are updating that IAM role to our Jenkins machine as well. Okay. So fifth step also we are good. Sixth step, create EKS cluster using EKS CTL. We have already created that cluster and it is running from long back. Okay, I have not deleted my cluster. It is running now. So when the cluster is running, we can verify kubectl get nodes. Are we able to connect to the cluster or not? Yes, you can see my cluster is running. From last 25 days, I'm running my cluster. So it is in the ready state. So with this EKS cluster is also, we are good. Install AWS CLI in the Jenkins server. Okay. So let's go to our Jenkins server. Then install this AWS CLI. Install it. Unzip this AWS CLI. Unzip this AWS CLI. Unzip is not found. Let's install unzip first. Sudo apt install unzip. Okay. First I'm installing unzip software because I want to unzip this AWS CLI. Right. Then execute this AWS CLI. Now check the AWS version. CLI got installed. Perfect. Then next one, install kubectl in the Jenkins server. Because Jenkins should communicate with the Kubernetes cluster by using kubectl. So let me install kubectl in the Jenkins server. Take this command. Install kubectl. Execute that kubectl. It is downloading kubectl software. Yes. Then give the permission for that. Then change the location. Then check the version of the kubectl. Perfect. Yes. Step 8 also completed. We installed kubectl in the Jenkins server. Then this step is very important. Guys, now we are having one machine. This is our EKS management host. This is EKS client VM. We created this EKS client. EKS client is communicating with the Kubernetes cluster directly. That is fine. But now my Jenkins machine should communicate with the Kubernetes cluster. To communicate with the Kubernetes cluster, Jenkins machine having kubectl software. So just now we installed kubectl software in the Jenkins machine. kubectl available in the Jenkins, but how to communicate with the cluster? Where is the cluster? So that's where this step, 9th step is very important. Update EKS cluster config file in the Jenkins server. So we need to execute this command in the EKS management host and copy kubeconfig file data. EKS management host machine is available. That machine knows cluster data. So let me execute this. cat.kube/config. So with this, I'm able to get my Kubernetes kubeconfig file. Kubernetes kubeconfig file, nothing but it contains our cluster information. Now what I need to do is, I need to take the kubeconfig file and I need to configure that kubeconfig file in the Jenkins server. Remember, this step is a little confusing, guys. EKS management host is available that knows where is the cluster and cluster config data. Now, my Jenkins server should communicate with the cluster. For that, in the Jenkins, I installed kubectl. But kubectl don't know where is our cluster. So that's why you need to read this step clearly. Execute below command in the EKS management host and copy kubeconfig file data, cat.kube/config. Okay, so then execute below commands in the Jenkins server and paste kubeconfig file. So this command you need to execute in the EKS management host, which will give you kubeconfig file. Then you need to create this, go to this directory in the Jenkins, var lib Jenkins. In the Jenkins, we will create one directory called .cube directory. In that directory, we will create one config file, sudo vi.cube config file. Now, file open. Inside this file, we need to copy and paste this kubeconfig data. Copy this kubeconfig data and paste that in this Jenkins file. Okay. Now, save it. So with this, I have completed kubeconfig configuration in the Jenkins. From the EKS management host, I copied kubeconfig data. I created one directory and config file in the Jenkins machine. Here, I have given those steps clearly. Copy the kubeconfig from the EKS management host, then keep that in the Jenkins machine by executing these commands. After that, now my Jenkins should be able to connect with the cluster. kubectl get nodes. Now, let me go to home directory. kubectl get nodes. So kubectl get nodes, it is not able to get that. Let me go to cd space var /lib/Jenkins. In the Jenkins directory, we created .cube. Okay. Now let me go here and let me check kubectl get nodes. The server does not have a resource type nodes. So here I should be able to check. The nodes are available or not. Okay. So because we updated kubeconfig data, after updating the kubeconfig data, we should be able to get the nodes data. That means my Jenkins machine should be able to communicate with the Kubernetes cluster. My Jenkins machine should be able to communicate with the Kubernetes cluster. I already configured kubeconfig file. After configuring the kubeconfig file, when I execute kubectl get nodes, I should be able to get the nodes which are available. So let me check my Jenkins machine once again. Jenkins machine is available. Actions, security, IAM role, EKS role, EC2, update that IAM role. Successfully, I have updated the IAM role for the Jenkins. After updating that, we should be able to connect with the cluster. If we connect with the cluster, then our setup is working as expected. kubectl get nodes. Let me do this setup again. I configured that cd varlib Jenkins. I'm in the directory. Let me make mkdir.kube file already exists. Kubeconfig file is also available. API version. False. This is our kubeconfig data. Save this file. Yeah. Kubeconfig is available. Check the EKS nodes. We should be able to see the cluster nodes here. kubectl get nodes. Server does not have a resource type nodes. After updating this, so let me try restart my Jenkins. Sudo restart my Jenkins. I'm trying to restart the Jenkins, guys. Yeah. Yes, I have not deleted that nodes, kubectl get nodes available. So in the EKS management host, I'm able to get the nodes because kubeconfig available. Same thing, I should be able to see in my Jenkins also. In the Jenkins also, I have updated kubeconfig. Okay, it's not coming here. Let me do one thing. Sudo mkdir.kube. Yep. Get this data and keep it here. Config YML saying wrong. vi kubeconfig API version v1 cluster. kubectl get nodes. Let me make this directory once again. vi.kubeconfig. I'm trying to create the kubeconfig file. I need to keep that kubeconfig data. So cat.kubeconfig, this is the content. Copy this content and keep it here. Okay. File, save it. kubectl get version. kubectl is already working or not. Now kubectl version. In the Jenkins, my kubectl is working or not. Yeah, kubectl is working in the Jenkins. Kubeconfig also updated. Now kubectl get nodes. Yes, now it is working. In the Jenkins, I'm able to access Kubernetes cluster. Guys, this step is very, very, very important. In this step, we need to copy kubeconfig data from management host, and we need to keep that in the Jenkins. So let me go to where lib Jenkins. From here, am I able to access my nodes or not? Jenkins should be able to access the Kubernetes cluster. Perfect. I'm able to access the Kubernetes cluster from my Jenkins. Okay, guys, good. So with this, our setup is ready. My Jenkins having the connection with the Docker and my Jenkins having the connection with the cluster. Now I need to create the job. Okay, so this is ninth step is a little confusing, guys. Be careful when you are working on the step 9. Copy the config data from EKS management host. That config contains cluster information. Then in the Jenkins, go to this directory, create a .kube, then create a file, copy the data and paste that config data in this file. After configuration completed, it is taking some time to update that. Then when you execute kubectl get nodes, you should be able to see EKS cluster nodes here. Now I'm able to see EKS cluster nodes here. That means my Jenkins is communicating with the Kubernetes cluster. We are good. Now the next step, we need to create Jenkins job. We need to create the Jenkins job. So already we have access for our Jenkins server. Let me access this Jenkins. Sign in. Okay, let me log in into Jenkins machine. So once we log in into the Jenkins machine, now we should be able to create the job in the Jenkins. So as we discussed yesterday, Jenkins job creation contains multiple stages. So the first stage is git clone, second stage is Maven build, third stage is build the Docker image, then push the Docker image to Docker Hub, then finally the last stage is deploy that in the Kubernetes cluster. So let me create the stages one by one. So first stage, git clone. So go to our Jenkins dashboard, new item, create the job. Jenkins, Docker, Kubernetes, pipeline. Go to pipeline, Jenkins, Docker, Kubernetes pipeline, click on OK. So in this pipeline, we need to write the script. Okay, try hello world script. In the hello world script steps is available. First step is git clone. Okay, so now in order to do the git clone, I don't want to configure the credentials here. I want to generate that by using pipeline syntax. Yesterday we have done that. Go to pipeline syntax and go to git here. Then give the repository URL. So what is your repository URL? Take that repository URL and give the repository URL. So I want to clone this git repository. Branch is master. Credentials, git credentials we configured yesterday. Connect to that. Generate the syntax. So pipeline syntax generated. Copy this syntax and keep it here. So this is going to clone the project from GitHub repository. Then what about second stage, Maven clean build? In the last session, Maven we used as a global tool, but today we installed Maven in the Jenkins machine itself. So directly we can take this stage and we can write Maven build. We can write this as a Maven build stage. So what is the Maven build stage? How we will do the Maven build? We will do the Maven build by using clean package, right? sh Maven clean package. So first stage is to clone the repository. Second stage is to do the Maven build. Click on apply, click on save. Let us check it. These two stages are working as expected or not. Cloning and building is happening or not. Go to build now, run this and check it. Go to build now, run this and check this. Go to this console output and verify. Job executed successfully. First time Maven is executed in this machine. So it downloaded a lot of plugins that are required for our project compilation and packaging. Finally, it finished success. So we can say that the job is executed successfully. Here, if we see, once the job is executed successfully, we can see that war file will be created. ls-l. Now you see Jenkins, Docker, Kubernetes, pipeline job got executed. cd space Jenkins pipeline. Now ls-la, here you can see target directory got created. Now ls-l target. Our war file got created. So with this, our Jenkins job got success. In this Jenkins job, currently we are having only 2 stages. So what are those 2 stages? First one is doing the clone. Second one is doing the Maven build. Then what is our third stage? Build and push Docker image. First build Docker image. I need to build the Docker image. Before going to do that, let us verify, do we have any Docker images in this machine? Sudo Docker images. So currently in this Jenkins machine, Docker images are not available. So let me write one stage to create a Docker image for that. Stage Maven build, then go here, Docker image creation, create image. So what is the command to create the Docker image? We already discussed Docker build -t, our application name, our image name, we can provide that. So now here I'm giving sh Docker build -t Ashoka IT/app1 or Ashoka IT/Maven web app. Like this, I want to create a Docker image. Okay, click on apply, click on save. Guys, to create the Docker image, we need a Docker file. If you see in the GitHub repository itself, our Docker file is available. So in the repository itself, we kept our Docker file. Now go to here, see this. If you see, for this project, Docker file is available. In this Docker file, Tomcat I'm using, copy this war file from this machine to Tomcat server, maven webapp.war. Okay, as the Docker file is already available, this command is going to create the Docker image for our application. Let's try this. I'm going to run this stage now. Configure. 3 stages are available in the pipeline. Git to clone is available. Maven build is available. And create image is also available. Apply and save. Let us run this now. Build now. I'm running this job which contains 3 stages. Clone, Maven build, and creating the Docker image. So go to this number 2 and go to the console output and verify. So see here, it is trying to create the Docker image. Finish the success. Our job is executed successfully. Go here and check it. Second time, I executed my job. Git to clone, Maven build, create a Docker image. We are able to create the Docker image now. So once the Docker image is created, what is the next step? We need to push Docker image into Docker Hub. So we already practiced in the Docker. In order to push the Docker image to Docker Hub, we need to log in into the Docker Hub account and we need to push that image to the Docker Hub. So what is the image we have executed? Let us verify image is created or not. Now you can see the image is created. Earlier when I execute sudo docker images, no image is available. Now when I execute sudo docker images, the image got created 44 seconds ago. This is the name I have given for the image. Now this image I want to push into Docker Hub account. Okay, let me connect it to my Docker Hub account. Docker Hub account. I want to push my image into Docker Hub. Let me sign in into Docker Hub. So to log in into Docker Hub, I know my username and I know my password. Then I am connecting to this Docker Hub account. So in the Docker Hub account, Maven web app image already available. Now I want to push latest image. Maven web app image is available here. So now this image pushed 2 months back. Now I want to push that image again. I want to push that image again. Okay, now let's go here and let me go for this build configure pipeline. So in this pipeline, Docker image, let me give the image name as Ashok IT Maven web app. What is the image name available here? Maven web app. No icons are available. Okay, Ashok IT Maven web app space dot image I have given. Now I need to push this image to Docker Hub. Okay, how to push the image to Docker Hub? Push image. In order to push the image, we need 2 steps. One is we need to log in into Docker Hub account by using Docker login, and we need to push that. In order to log in, password is required. So is it recommended to configure the password in the pipeline? Can I configure my Docker account password in the pipeline? Is it recommended or not recommended? It is not recommended to configure the password. Okay, guys, then what I need to do? I need to go for pipeline syntax. Go for pipeline syntax. In the pipeline syntax, we need to select a secret. I want to keep my password as a secret value. Let me go for secret. There will be an option. I want to hide my password, guys. I want to hide my password. Secret will be available here with credentials, something like. Use pipeline syntax to generate secret for the Docker Hub account with credentials. With the credentials. Okay. So with the credentials, I want to bind my credentials here. Go to secret text. So in the secret text, I will give Docker Hub, Docker account password. Docker account password. Credentials are not available. I need to add that. So secret text I'm going to add. So what is my password that I am going to configure here? Okay. This one I will give as Docker account password. Add it. Okay. Variable Docker account password and credentials Docker account password is available. Generate the pipeline syntax. So with this, my Docker account password is available with the credential. Now let me take this with the credential. Docker account password is available. I want to hide this. I want to hide this string credentials ID, Docker account password, variable Docker account password. Now, whatever the variable is available, that variable I need to configure here. Now let me copy this line and let me keep it with the credentials. What is the variable? Docker account password is the variable. Let me keep that variable here. Username is Ashok IT, no issue. And password I configured as secret with the credentials. Then for my password, variable got created. I used that variable here. And what is my image name? My image name will be Maven web app. So now in order to push the Docker image to the Docker Hub, I am going for this stage. Take this stage now. Go to Jenkins pipeline to push the image. I'm using this. Guys, observe carefully. I'm using with credentials. Now I don't want to display Docker account password here. For that, I am using pipeline syntax. In the pipeline syntax, I'm selecting one option called with credential. I'm giving some variable name for that, Docker account password. What is your credential? I'm selecting here as Jenkins. username with password. I don't need username. I need only password. Secret text. I'm entering my password. I click on add. Then I'm generating pipeline syntax. When I generate pipeline syntax, I'm getting with credential. So this is your credential ID. This is your variable which is holding the password. So that variable we are configuring here with credential. Whatever the variable name you give here, same variable name you need to configure. So this command sh docker login -u username and password is available. Then once this command is executed from the Jenkins pipeline, we will log in into our Docker Hub account. Then we will push our Docker image by using Docker push command. Okay, let us verify this push is working as expected or not. Apply, save. So with this in my job, 4 stages available. One is git clone. Second one is Maven build. Third one is creating the image. Fourth one is pushing to Docker Hub. Okay. Now go to this Docker Hub and verify in the Docker Hub, Maven web app image pushed 2 months ago. Now if I refresh my Docker Hub account, you can check it. What is the latest image available in my account? Let me connect to this Docker Hub. What is the latest image available? SB Logger app, 17 days ago, I have pushed that image. Now run my Jenkins job. 4 stages will execute now. Start build is executing. Git clone got success. Maven build, creating the Docker image and Docker push. Docker push got failed. Let's go and check it. Why it is failed. Go to console output. Verify here. Build failure. No such property. Docker for class. Docker account password. Masking support matron patches. Image push is not happening. Build got success. Image got created. After image got created, we are trying to log in into the Docker Hub account. End of pipeline with credentials. Is there any syntax mistake I have done? Docker Hub account password. Flower bracket missing. Where it is missing, sir? Where the flower bracket is missing? Okay. Let me go to Jenkins pipeline. Configure pipeline. With credentials. So this is for stage. Step. It is good. Now this one. This flower bracket for stages. This flower bracket for pipeline. Good. Na? Where I am missing the flower bracket. sh docker login, docker account, password. No, that is not extra. That is correct. Docker account password. Apply, save, build now. Image push is getting failed. Go to this console output. Missing property exception. No such property for the Docker class. Groovy.lang.bind. Masking supported pattern matches. Maybe the variable name which we are taking is not matching with the hyphen. So let me go to this job again. Configure pipeline. Go to pipeline syntax. Let's go for with credentials. With credentials. Okay. Now with credentials binding, secret text. variable name, let me give as Docker password without any hyphens. So credentials, Docker account password, click on generate pipeline syntax. Now variable name I'm taking as just Docker password. I don't want to give hyphen in the variable name. Let me try with this. Docker password. Let me take this password I'm giving as Docker password. This is my stage. Take this, go to this and remove this and keep it. I just changed the variable name, guys. Let's try. Steps with credentials. It is good. Here it is ending. Docker password is the variable name. Docker hub is available. A stage that is expecting here. Yeah. Steps is available. Stage is available. Stages pipeline. Apply, save. Then do the build again. Fifth time we are running the build. Go to this, go to console output, finished, success. Now we are able to push our Docker image to the Docker hub. Go to Docker hub and refresh. Check this, image is pushed into the Docker hub or not. Image is pushed into the Docker hub or not. Yes, you can see earlier we have the latest image as Logger app 17 days ago. Now my latest image is pushed into the Docker hub, that is Maven web application. So the problem we faced because for the variable hyphens, if I use it is not accepting. So you need to give the variable name without any hyphen. Then it is working as expected. So go to this Jenkins job and you can see fifth time my Jenkins job is executed with all the four stages. With all the 4 stages, my Jenkins job is executed. Then what is the last stage? The last stage is I want to deploy that application on the Kubernetes cluster. In the Jenkins already kubectl is installed and the cluster configuration is also already available. Just I need to execute the Kubernetes deployment. So to do the Kubernetes deployment, we already know that we are going to use Kubernetes manifest file. The Kubernetes manifest file also will be available in our Git repository. Okay. Now let me go to my GitHub repository and let me check my Kubernetes manifest YML. Kubernetes manifest YML will be available. Okay, Maven web app deploy.yml is available. So Kubernetes deployment YML is available. Recreate, rolling update, node port 30376. Service type we are using as node port. So that means it is going to deploy on the node port. Suppose I want to change this service type to load balancer so that I can easily access my application. I don't want to go for node port service. I want to go for load balancer. When I'm going for the load balancer, configuring the node port is not required. Okay, how many pods we are going to create? I want to create 2 replicas. I want to create 2 pods and I want to expose them by using load balancer. Click on commit changes. I have deployment file also in my Git repository. I have the deployment file also in my Git repository. Okay, now let me configure the job which is used to deploy my application in the Kubernetes cluster. So before going to do that, let us verify any application which is available in the cluster. kubectl delete all all. So any deployment which is available, I have deleted. Now go for kubectl get pods. So do we have any pods in the cluster? No, currently no application is deployed in the cluster. Now I want to deploy my application in the cluster. So to deploy the application in the cluster, I'm going to write one more stage, that is Kubernetes deployment. Already the deployment YML file available in the repository. I just need to execute kubectl apply -f. This is my deployment stage. So let us write the last stage here. I have written the last stage. In the last stage, I have Kubernetes deployment. In the last stage, I have Kubernetes deployment. In the GitHub repository, Docker file is available, as well as our Kubernetes manifest file is also available. So I configure the last stage. So once we run the job, it will take the code from the GitHub. It will do the build by using Maven. It will create the image by using Docker. It will push the image to Docker Hub. Then it will deploy that by using Kubernetes cluster. When it is deploying by using Kubernetes cluster, let us verify what is the image name I have configured. So image name we are configuring here, Ashok IT Maven web app. So that image we are pushing to the Docker Hub. Same image it will pull and it will deploy, right? So whatever the image name we are using, same image name we need to configure in the Kubernetes manifest YML. So Kubernetes manifest YML, deployment manifest is available and deployment service is available. The service type I'm using as load balancer. Okay, good. So deployment stage is also available. Apply and save. So last time up to Docker push available. Now we are executing our final pipeline, which contains all the 5 stages. First, it will take the code from GitHub. It will communicate with the Maven to do the build. It will communicate with the Docker to create the image. It will communicate with the Docker Hub to push the image. It will communicate with the cluster to deploy the application. To create the Docker image, we need a Docker file. To create the Docker image, we need a Docker file. Where is that Docker file? Docker file is available in our Git repository itself. To deploy in the cluster, YML file is available. Deployment.yml is required. That deployment.yml is also available in the Git repository. Okay, now let me check in the cluster first. Do we have any pods in the cluster now? Currently, no pods available in the cluster. Do we have any services in the cluster? No services available in the cluster. Let me run my job. Build now. Final job is going to execute with all the 5 stages. Final job is going to execute with all the 5 stages. Git clone, Maven build, create image, Docker push, then deployment. Last stage, Kubernetes deployment. It is trying to execute kubectl command. Deployment also success. Once it is deployed successfully, go to cluster and verify pods created or not. Now you see 2 pods created. 1 pod is in the running state. Another pod is getting created. Earlier, before our job execution, when I execute kubectl get commands, it is saying that no resources found. Services, no services found. Kubectl get pods. Now, 2 replicas I have given, 2 pods are created. Who is deploying my application in the cluster? Am I deploying that manually or I am doing the deployment by using Jenkins? Am I deploying that manually or I am deploying by using Jenkins? I'm deploying by using Jenkins. Automated build and deployment. Okay, when I go for kubectl get pods, 2 pods are created because I have given 2 replicas. When I go for kubectl get service, so that load balancer service is created. I am exposing my pods by using service type as a load balancer. One load balancer also created. By using this load balancer, we can access our application. By using this load balancer, we can access our application. Okay, now let us take this load balancer URL to access our application. So go to browser, load balancer URL /maven web-app. We should be able to access our application from the browser. Yes, we are able to access our application from the browser. So hit this URL. You can also access my application, which is deployed in the Kubernetes cluster. Hit the URL. Are you able to hit the URL? Are you able to access my application now? Are you able to access my application now? Okay. Can we make some code changes? And can we see latest code deployment? Can we make some code changes in the GitHub? And can we see latest code deployment? Come on. Go to Git repository. So in the Git repository, code will be available. Developers will modify that code. Go to web app, go to index.jsp. In this index.jsp, let's edit. Welcome to Ashok IT Software Training Institute. Okay. I'm writing Software Training Institute. So in the existing application, we don't have that. We have only up to welcome to Ashok IT. Now I have modified that code in the GitHub. Let me do the commit. Code committed. So after my code is committed, job is executing automatically or job is not executing automatically? Job is not executing automatically. Can we run the job and can we check that? Can we run the job and can we check that? 6 times I have already executed my job. Now I want to run this job for 7th time. So go here and click on build now. I'm running the job manually. 7th time I'm running the job. Let's verify. Git clone, maven build, create the image, push the image to Docker, then deploy the application in the cluster. Push the image to Docker and deploy the application in the cluster, Kubernetes cluster. So everything is automated by using Jenkins. Deployment completed successfully. Refresh our application. Let's wait. Latest code deployment. Let me check it. Kubernetes kubectl get pods. Oh, latest pods are not created, guys. Latest code is not deployed. Latest code is not deployed. kubectl get service. kubectl get pods. Now, pods are created 4 minutes ago. That means latest code is deployed or latest code is not deployed. Guys, latest code is deployed or the latest code is not deployed. Come on, guys. Latest code deployed or latest code is not deployed? Latest code is not deployed. Even though I am executing my job, the latest code is not deployed. That means it is not downloading the latest image. It is not downloading the latest image. We need to configure image policy, means always pull. So here, whatever the image I have configured, it is using the old image. It has not taken the latest image here. So how to configure image policy in the Kubernetes manifest? Image policy in Kubernetes. Image pull policy in the Kubernetes. I need to tell that always pull the image. Always pull the latest image from the Docker Hub account so that it can deploy the latest image. Okay. Image pull policy. Always I need to pull that image. Image pull policy always configuration. 1 minute. Image pull policy Kubernetes deployment. Image pull policy for Kubernetes deployment. Yeah, I need to specify image pull policy always. Always it has to get the latest image from that. Always it has to get the latest image from the Docker Hub. Currently it is using old image, so it is not deploying the latest code. I'm configuring image pull policy always. Always you need to pull the latest image. Okay. Now go to Jenkins, run this once again, build now. 8th time I'm executing now. Let us see latest code deployment will happen or not. Pods should be recreated. Then only latest code will be deployed. Our pods should be recreated, then latest code will be deployed. Go here and check it. kubectl get pods. 6 minutes ago they have created. Deployment got success. Go for this. No. Latest code is not deployed. Latest code is not deployed, guys. Configure. So let me do one thing. Before going to do this kubectl deployment, let me execute another command. kubectl delete all. kubectl delete deployment. kubectl delete deployment. What is the deployment name we are creating? kubectl get deployment Maven web app deployment. I'm deleting this deployment before going to apply. Okay. kubectl delete deployment Maven web app deployment. Then I am reapplying this YML. Apply and save. Okay. Let me go for 9th time. Build now. Before doing the deployment, I'm deleting the existing deployment and I'm creating a new deployment. Yeah. Deployment got success. Let us verify. kubectl get deployment. kubectl get pods. Now latest pods got created. When the latest pods are created, now access the application. Latest code is deploying on. Now refresh your URL. Now refresh your URL, guys. Are we able to see the latest code? Yes, we are able to see the latest code. Can we modify the code once again and check it? Go to this application. Modify the code again. Now, Ashok IT Software Training Institute at Hyderabad. Okay, I'm writing at the Hyderabad. I'm modifying the text, guys. Save it. I modified the code. Currently, it is displaying only Software Training Institute. Now I added at Hyderabad. Go to the Jenkins and do the build now. So when I do the build, 9 builds already completed. 10th build I am running. Click on build now. My build is getting triggered. Creating the image, pushing that image and deployment. It is in progress. Docker push is happening and go for deployment. Yeah. So with this, we are able to deploy. Go to this, refresh. Latest application. Yes. Are we able to get the latest application? Latest code is deployed or not? Latest code is deployed. Refresh the URL and check it. Yes, we are able to do the latest code deployment. So whatever we have learned in the last 1 month, Docker, Kubernetes. So everything we are able to automate or not? Everything we are able to automate by using Jenkins pipeline. Everything we are able to automate by using Jenkins pipeline. Are you clear? So if you observe our Jenkins pipeline, go to configure edit, go to pipeline option here. Here also you can configure build trigger. If I go configure build trigger poll SCM, what will happen? So automatically build will be triggered whenever you commit the code. You don't need to trigger the build manually. If you configure poll SCM, then whenever the code is modified in the GitHub, automatically build will be triggered. Build triggering will happen automatically. And I have pipeline. So in the pipeline, you can see here, stage 1, git clone, Maven build, create the image, Docker push, and Kubernetes deployment. So let me give the final script here. So this is the final script now. So in the final script, I'm deleting the Kubernetes deployment. Whatever the deployment is available, if I want to deploy the latest code, I need to delete my existing deployment and I am recreating the new deployment. Okay. So first stage, git clone. Second stage, Maven build. Third stage, creating the image. Fourth stage, Docker push. Whenever we are pushing the Docker image, Docker login is required. For the login password, we need to take from secret with credential option. Then finally, we are going for deployment. The deployment we are doing by using Kubernetes. So we are doing Kubernetes deployment by using Jenkins pipeline. So with this, we are able to integrate Jenkins with Docker and Kubernetes. Good. Fine. Can we integrate Sonar Cube and Nexus in the repository? Yes, we can do that. Yesterday in the group, I have shared that video. In that video, I explained how to integrate Sonar and Nexus in the same pipeline. We can add 2 more stages to do the Sonar Cube integration and Nexus integration. Did you watch the video which I have shared yesterday in the group, DevOps group, integrating Sonar and Nexus? Yes, in that I explained how to integrate Sonar and Nexus in the pipeline. Yes, we can configure those things also. Fine, guys. In the real time, we are not going to create single job to automate the build and deployment. In the real time, 2 jobs will be available, guys. Currently, in this Jenkins pipeline, I am doing CI/CD. In this Jenkins pipeline, I'm doing complete CI/CD. Yes or no? I'm doing complete CI and CD in the single pipeline. But in the real time, some projects will use single pipeline for the CI/CD, but in some projects, they will use CI separately and the CD separately. In the tomorrow session, we will work on the same example, but instead of 1 job for the CI/CD, I will create 2 jobs. One is a CI job, another one is a CD job. CI job will be involved up to Docker Hub push. CD job will take care of Kubernetes deployment. I want to split this into 2 jobs. So 1 job will perform continuous integration. Another job will perform continuous deployment. In the tomorrow session, we will understand how Jenkins pipelines will be created in the real time. What is the duty of the CI Jenkins job? What is the duty of the CD Jenkins job? So in today's session, everything I have done in single pipeline. CI/CD pipeline. Continuous integration, continuous deployment is part of 1 pipeline. But in the real time, it is not going to happen in 1 pipeline. It will happen in the 2 pipelines. CI pipeline, CD pipeline. That I will discuss in the tomorrow's class. Okay, guys. Good. So anybody having any questions, you can unmute your mic. The people who are not able to see that video for Sonar Cube and Nexus integration, if you go to Ashok IT YouTube channel, you can find that video.
Okay.
So go to Ashok IT YouTube channel, Docker project setup, Ashok IT. If you type this Docker project setup in Ashok IT, here you will get that video. DevOps project setup, CI/CD pipeline. In this CI/CD pipeline, I explained GitHub, Sonar, Nexus, Tomcat. Okay, I will share this URL in our group, guys. I already shared this in the DevOps group yesterday. I think in the Docker group, I forgot to share it. This is the link. You can click on that link. So in this video, you will understand how to integrate Sonar and Nexus in the pipeline. So the people who are attending Docker Kubernetes, they don't have idea on the Sonar and Nexus, right? For DevOps people, I already completed Sonar and Nexus that can be integrated in the Jenkins pipeline. Okay. Anybody having any questions on the today's session?
So Ashok, today we have installed the Maven with the help of commands, right? Correct. But till yesterday we have tried to configure the Maven through global tool configuration. So what
you can do that in multiple ways. I want to show you both approaches.
Okay. Okay. So both are same, right?
Both are same. So in the yesterday approach, Maven I am taking from the global tools. In the today, Maven directly I installed in the Jenkins machine.
Yeah, but if we given the global tool in the script, in the pipeline script, we have to given the same way, like definition, Maven home, yesterday, like we have given.
Yeah, same.
But today you have given only sh, Maven clean build, something like that. That's it.
Because it is directly available on the machine.
Okay.
Directly I'm giving clean.
Okay. Thanks.
Yeah. Any other questions, anyone, guys? This is very, very, very important job. I want you people to complete this job creation today. Tomorrow we'll understand CI job, CD job separately. So tomorrow we'll work on CI and CD job separately. Then we will deploy one full stack application, Angular frontend, backend Java or Python, multiple technologies applications deployment we are going to discuss. Any questions, anyone?
Sir, my question is regarding AWS account. Sir, yesterday I got that in 30th, means after 2 days your account will be suspended if not paid.
No. Talk to support team, ask them to make it 0. They will do that. Otherwise, you can create the new AWS account.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Fine. Good, guys. So please practice this Jenkins job that we discussed today will continue in the tomorrow session. Thank you, guys.